How to discipline an employee. Disciplining an employee is always unpleasant for everyone involved. The most effective disciplinary action should be a motivational opportunity so that the employee is inspired to perform better. Many corporate institutions use progressive discipline to address problematic behavior, which progresses through 4 stages. First comes a verbal warning, then a written warning, then a final written warning and/or suspension, followed by termination. 1. The key to each phase of discipline is being communicative about why the employee was at fault and teaching him how to correct that behavior going forward. 2. Learning how to effectively discipline an employee can help you ensure positive working relations and a better, stronger business. Giving a verbal warning. Conduct your own investigation. Before you bring any disciplinary action against an employee at any stage of progressive discipline, it's important that you review the evidence against the employee. Ask yourself who is actually at fault in the situation. It's possible that the situation is more complex than you initially thought. 4. Consider whether the employee had full control over his performance. For example, did the employee fully understand the roles and assignments of his position? 5. Ask to speak in private. It's imperative that you keep any disciplinary discussions private from the rest of your employees. This is to protect your employees' privacy and reputation within the workplace. Be firm and clear, yet approachable in your request. Say something like, "When you're finished with the task you're working on, I need to speak with you in my office, please." Address the issue directly. Don't beat around the bush when you're bringing up improper or unsatisfactory performance. When addressing an employee's performance, be clear on what the problem is, but deliver that information in a way that shows the employee that you or another supervisor have observed this behavior and are concerned. 8. Say something like, "I've noticed that you've been missing a lot of work lately," or "It's come to my attention that you haven't been meeting your quotas on time." Let the employee respond. Even though you should have conducted your own investigation before meeting with the employee, it's possible that there are still some circumstances you are not aware of. In fact, many supervisors who give their employees the chance to explain unsatisfactory behavior often find that there is no need for disciplinary action of any kind. Engage in a conversation. Keep yourself open to what he has to say. His input should not be a mere formality. Instead, consider the employee's response an important part of your investigation. 11. Ask the employee to respond to the issue at hand before any mention of disciplinary action comes up. You do not want the employee to feel he's being disciplined before you've heard his side of the story. The best way to do this is to state the problem bluntly, then politely ask for the employee's feedback on the issue. 12. Make the employee feel like he's part of a discussion on the issue, rather than being necessarily blamed for the problem. 13. Listen actively and attentively, then re-evaluate the situation and the problematic behavior in light of what has been said. You may find that the employee hasn't done anything wrong, or that his behavior had a reasonable excuse, or you may find that nothing has changed. But the key is listening. 14. Communicate company policies. If you still believe the employee is at fault after listening to his version of events, you'll need to spell out why that behavior or performance was unsatisfactory. If the employee is to blame for the problem, contrast his behavior with any conflicting rules in place within the office. That way you will have made it clear to the employee that there is a problem, you'll have spelled out why it's a problem, and you will have provided him with the company's desired outcome or behavior for future situations. 16. Offer guidance. This is the most important part of the disciplinary process. It's not enough to point out bad behavior to an employee if you're not offering some alternative behavioral goals to work towards. Whether the employee was unclear on company policies or simply had a lapse of judgment, offer him ways to constructively avoid similar problems moving forward. If an employee is having problems interacting with other coworkers, you may recommend that a representative from Human Resources sits down with the employee to coach him on how to interact more professionally with other workers. If an employee is not meeting deadlines or quotas, ask him why, and offer realistic solutions. Work with him to figure out a way he can meet those deadlines or quotas. Keep a record. It's important to maintain a detailed log of any and all disciplinary discussions you've had with employees. This can help you recall previous conversations, and can also help you track an employee's progress. It also may be helpful to have in the event that an employee brings allegations of a wrongful termination down the line.